that's it. That solves that problem. Yes, please, and thank you. I'm getting excited to read these. I'm hopeful that this is the month I get out of my book slump.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a April TBR, and this one's a little bit different. I'm not going to be picking out specific books that I will read for the month of April. I am trying to get out of a book slump, so I'm doing things a little bit different. I'm going to be getting books that I'm interested in, but not like focusing on those being the only books that I'm going to be reading. So I am going to do kind of a month kind of reset, get myself back to square one, and talk about the books that I'm thinking about reading or am interested in picking up potentially in the month of April, with the hopes that this will kind of jumpstart me getting out of my book slump. So I have some books already kind of picked out that are on my bookshelf, but I do have a couple of books that are not physically here. I do need to physically pick one up at the library, so I'm going to do that. And then I'm also going to be perusing around Barnes to see if there's some other books there that I would like to pick up to help me kind of get me excited about reading again. So I'm going to be leaving the house in just a minute. I'm going to bring you along with me, and we're going to have kind of a bookish day with me, reset, getting ready for my April TBR, and I'm excited. Hopefully I will have a very successful month in April with my reading, but we're going to take it day by day. But the first start is getting the books that I kind of want to pick up and read for this upcoming month. So let's go ahead and go do some shopping, go to the library, and see what we can find. Okay, I'm back. I went to the library and I went to Barnes, and I got everything kind of together to get an idea of what my April TBR is going to look like. Now, typically my TBRs, I set aside specific books that I want to finish during that month. Like, I try my hardest to read all of those books within that month, looking at only those books. I've come to the realization that does not work when you are in a reading slump. I instead am I've pulled a bunch of books that I am very interested in reading to kind of be my first choice for the month of April. This is not to say that I will not deviate from these books, but these are kind of the books that I'm thinking about that I want to read in April. They are a lot of romances because that is what I read. So if you would like to see all the books that I would like to potentially maybe possibly think about reading in the month of April, not to say these are going to be read or that any of these will even be picked, but these are what I'm thinking of. Now, I also have, let's talk about the books that I don't currently own right now. So I do have an order at Barnes for books that will be delivered within the month of April. So the books that are currently like en route to me at this present moment, I do have Hunt the Villain by Rena Kent. That is book 2 of her, I think it's a hockey series. I don't really remember. I have book 1 over here, I think. I don't know. So I have Hunt the Villain is currently in transit. I also have Just Friends by Haley Pham. That is also in transit. That will be delivered at some point in the month of April. I also have pre-ordered Game On, which is book 3 of the Lights Out series by Nevessa Allen. So I have 3 additional books that I'm very excited to read that are going to be kind of on my mind within the month of April. So I have those 3 books. In addition, I have a ton of books on Kindle that have really piqued my interest, and they're just kind of sitting there waiting for me to read. And I don't know anything about these off the top of my head. I just have them downloaded because I've remembered people talking about them, or the cover got me, or I was just in the mood for whatever the blurb said. I
it was enough to make me download it. So I'm just going to rapid fire these. I don't quite know what they're about, but I have them. So we have Sinner's Playground. I have Bad Bishop, Still Beating, Dance, Butterfly, Dance, Christina Lauren's Accidentally Yours, Bryn Weaver's like a little novella she did with Love and Other Killers, and I also have Daggermouth. Those are the ones that have been really like eyeballing me, and I am super excited to read them. So those could be potential KU books that I might pick up in April. So now let's rapid fire, hopefully, the books that I have physically with me that I would like to read also, maybe, in the month of April. All of this is trying to get me out of my reading slump. So I don't know which ones I'm going to gravitate toward and which ones I will be able to finish, but these are the ones I would love to be able to read. So the first two that I have are library books. So I previously had picked up This Woven Kingdom. I just renewed this when I went to the library today because it was due in about 3 days and I had not even opened this book. So I did renew this. I have it again for another like 2 weeks, I think. This is a young adult romance written by the same author who did Shatter Me. So if I feel like a young adult romance, maybe, I think this is a romance, I have this one. The other library book that I got was the graphic novel or the manga for One Piece. This is volume 1. I am so excited to read this just because I've seen a lot about this because of my planner community, because I'm a big planner. I use a Hobonichi Cousin, which is a Japanese planner company, and they have some covers for their planners with One Piece, and I've always been intrigued with this manga, and I finally decided to go ahead and get a hold of it so I can try out volume 1. So we have One Piece. And then today I ended up picking up 2 Lynn Painter books because I do love Lynn Painter. She has very quick, easy romances. They're very easily digestible, usually a very good time. I like Lynn Painter's books. So I have Happily Never After and then Accidentally Amy. I do remember when both of these came out. I don't remember what people's reviews were on them, but I love Lynn Painter. I don't think I've ever disliked any of her books. So I don't think they're gonna be 5-star books, but I think they're gonna be really good reads for me, especially because they are very small romances, and I think they will be perfect to help me get out of my little reading slump that I'm in. I think these are gonna be very great books for me to pick up and try to finish. And so I have 2 books from Lynn Painter. I also today picked up Abby Jimenez's latest book, The Night We Met. She is an auto buy for me. The last book that she did come out with, which is Say You'll Remember Me. Not my favorite. It was a long distance trope. I didn't really gravitate toward those characters. You can't have all 5-star books. If you're an author, you've got to have some that people just don't enjoy. That was one that I did not like. So I picked up this one. I'm very hopeful that this is going to be an amazing book, and I can't wait to dive into it and have it join my Abby Jimenez collection. I also have another quick little novella that is going to be great for me to try to get out of my reading slump. This is Fearful. This is one of the novellas for the Powerless series by Lauren Roberts. This one I tried to pick up before when it first came out, and I don't know what it was, but like the prologue just I didn't care for, but it's a very quick little small novella, so I think this might be very helpful to get me out of my reading slump. All of these books are smaller books, and I don't think any of them are more than like 400 pages, or if they are, they're right at the 400 page mark. There is one book that looks a little bit thicker than the others, but it's not insanely undoable. So I'm trying to get small, digestible, easy to read books to really get me back into the reading spirit. So Fearful is definitely a little novella that I think will be an easy way to put another little check on my read list, and hopefully I'll be able to get this taken care of. So I have actually 2 more Lynn Painter books in this April TBR. I have Nothing Like the Movies, which is book 2 Better Than the Movies, and then this is her most recent book, I believe, Fake Skating. So I have on my April like eyeball list 4 books by Lynn Painter. These are a little bit thicker than the other 2 that I have, but I really liked Better Than the Movies, so I think I'm really going to enjoy this. And then Fake Skating, I like I said, I think I've liked every single one of her books that has come out, so I'm not expecting to dislike either one of these. I have a Rena Kent book. This is Sweet Venom. This is book 2 to another one of her series. I do not remember what this one is about. Like I said, I have been very not in a reading spirit. Like, just the idea of reading has not been exciting to me. So I don't even remember what some of these books are, but I do love Rena Kent's stories for the most part. There was one book that I did not like, and that one was the other book that she did, which is book 1 of the, like I said earlier, I have On the Way Here, Hunt the Villain. The first book, I don't remember the name of the book was. I didn't even finish that one. That was the only Rena Kent book that I never really cared for. I couldn't finish it. I'm hoping book 2 of that series is much better. It's another book. But this is Sweet Venom. This one I think is a secret society. That's what this book is. It's a secret society and also hockey. A hockey secret society. I don't remember. I like Rena Kent, but I have Sweet Venom. I tried to read this several times before and I never read it. So hopefully in April, this might be the month that it's read. I have Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. Christina Lauren is another author that I pretty much like all of the books that they end up writing. This one I've had on my bookshelf for probably 3 years now, and I have not once picked it up, but it is a small little romance book. It's probably less, like at 300 pages. Yeah, it's 309 pages, a perfect size for a romance. So hopefully this will be another little easy book that I'll be able to read. And I love being able to say that I was able to read things that have been on my list or on my bookshelf for years. So Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating. Then I have The Night and the Moth. The second book comes out in September. I've already pre-ordered it. And I got this for Christmas, I believe. I know literally nothing about it. I don't know what this is all about. I don't know the tropes. I don't know anything other than I loved the cover and I like Rachel Gillig. So that's it. That solves that problem. So I have this. It says prepare to meet your next obsession. I don't know. Maybe this will be the month that I read this. And then I have, this is the book that I said is probably the thickest of all of my books potentially. This is Phantasma. I've heard this is a phenomenal book. Yeah, this is close to 500 pages. I've heard this is a phenomenal book, and I also have the second book on my bookshelf. So if this is amazing and I want to read the second one, I can. This is the special edition, I think, that I got at Target, and I just recently got it. I love the cover. I love the gold. So, A House of Devils is no place for an angel like you. Yes, please, and thank you. Phantasma. I really think this is going to be one of the ones that I do pick up in the month of April. I have a feeling I've been eyeballing this. I think this is going to be one of the books that I definitely will read in April, along with this book. This is another book I think I got at Target. It's another little beautiful special edition maybe. This is Air of Illusion, and the top says, or on the front, it says, she is not the pet they tamed, she is the beast they let inside. I don't know what this is about, but it sounds amazing. The back says an alliance between enemies, a weapon of untold power, and a bond that could rewrite fate. I don't know. It has a Fey assassin, an enigmatic, whatever, Grim Reaper. Enemies collide in this dark romantasy filled with desire and destruction. Yes, please, and thank you. So, I think this is going to be another one of the ones that I read in the month of April. I have a feeling I'm gravitating very strongly to these 2 books, but we'll see. Along with Rachel Gillig, there's actually quite a few books this month that as I'm looking at them, I'm getting a little excited. I'm getting excited to read these. It's a good sign when you're in a reading slump and books are getting you excited. Like seeing them like in front of you, it makes you excited. That's a really good sign. I'm hopeful that this is the month I get out of my book slump. I would love to be able to say that in April, I read 10 books. I would love that so very much. So this is another one that I think is really getting me very excited for the month of April. So Air of Illusion. And then the last book that I have is actually the most recent. No, it's not the most recent. That's a big fat lie. I just went to Barnes & Noble today. Get it together. I also just recently got Lady Tremaine by Rachel Hawkshawer. This is, I think, her debut novel. I got this because I signed up for Book of the Month. I'm so excited. I'm finally jumping on the Book of the Month train, and I can't wait to see how long I decide to stay on this train. But I did go ahead and get a Book of the Month. Just the idea of having a book delivered every month, just automatically, and I get to choose which book I want. It's just so appealing. I love book subscriptions, any subscriptions, honestly. So I picked up Lady Tremaine. This, again, I don't really remember what this is about. I want to say this is a retelling of something. Of Cinderella, maybe? Maybe Cinderella? It's got a royal ball. It's got stepdaughters. She risks her pride in pursuit of an invitation for all three of her daughters. Okay, I think this is like a retelling of Cinderella. I could be wrong. I honestly don't know. But I have Lady Tremaine. I'm excited. I'm not as excited as the other ones, but I am excited to get this down. So this is my March Book of the Month. So that is all of the books that I'm eyeballing, and I'm very excited for some of them to read for the month of April. So hopefully, like I said, these will really jumpstart me into reading again. I'm really hoping that this is going to be a great month. I have some amazing books in my hands, also on the way to me to put in my hands, and also some amazing books on KU. I'm very excited for Daggermouth, honestly. I think that's being re-released because I can't get a physical copy of that anymore. It's being re-released. I think it's being published, like traditionally published. And I want to say it comes out in July. I've heard that is a reverse harem, potentially. I love reverse harems. And I've heard I've heard Daggermouth is such a good book. Of KU books, I think that's probably the first one that I'm going to be reading because I've heard, or I feel in my soul, that's going to be a book that I'm very much going to enjoy. Hopefully that is true, but we will see. All that to say, that is all of my books that I'm hoping I'll be able to start getting me out of this book slump. I'm really hoping that my April wrap up, I'm going to have 10 books on them or more. I'm hoping at the end of April, I'll be able to say I am full blown in the deep end of reading again. And all of the stuff that I've had the first quarter of this year is over. And I am seeing blue skies in the horizon when it comes to reading. Hopefully these books that I have talked about will get me to that point. So with that, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you have not already, and I will see everybody in my next video. Bye.